2009. The year prior, LEGO has just hit a home run with their near-perfect line of Indiana Jones LEGO sets. However, Indiana Jones as a property has cooled off a little. It has been close to a year since the new film had released, and the reception to Crystal Skull was not good at all. That's not to mention that the Indiana Jones toys were selling terribly, with the only exception being LEGO. But luckily for all of us, LEGO still had plans to release a couple final waves before letting the theme ride off into the sunset. The first year of Indiana Jones is one of the best lineup of sets that we have ever gotten from LEGO. However, just like anything, it does have its shortcomings, with its being the minifigures. So it's going to be really interesting to see how LEGO can compete with the 2008 line of sets, and what improvements or disappointments they can provide with year 2. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into LEGO's best theme of all time. First up is the Shanghai Chase, the first ever Temple of Doom LEGO set. This set comes with 5 great minifigures, starting with our main hero, Indiana Jones, and he's very special this time around, as this is our first ever variant of Indiana Jones. In all of the 9 sets made in 2008, every Indiana Jones figure was exactly the same. For his first variant, he's put in this classy Club Obi-Wan tux, which just looks fantastic. He also includes his pistol, which is really nice, and this figure is just one of the great improvements off of the first year. Next, we get Indy's love interest in Temple of Doom, Willie Scott, who is maybe the best Indiana Jones minifigure ever released from this era. She is put in her flapper dancing outfit. There's an incredible amount of detail on this minifigure, plus the amazing hairpiece, which is completely exclusive to this one set. She also has a very fitting double-sided head, which is nice considering she screams for 90% of the movie. I seriously cannot complain about this figure at all. Here we have our first look at Short Round. This figure looks good, however is maybe the weakest out of the set. His torso and face look good, however I think I'm just not a big fan of the plain white hat, especially since it covers up his eyebrows. This can easily be fixed by replacing it with one of the newer white hat pieces, but it's not included. And I think the biggest complaint is that the hat doesn't even have any printing on it. I really think it hurts the figure and makes him look way too plain. The final 2 figures of the set are the gangsters. First up, we have this guy who I'm pretty confident is supposed to be Lao Chi. I love his little mustache and the little suits on these guys. They look great. The set consists of just these 2 cars. Starting out with the gangster's car, it's all black and it does look pretty good. You can fit 2 of your gangsters in the front side by side, which is nice, and they can also poke their little revolvers out to shoot at Indiana Jones. Lifting the roof, you can see you have a good amount of space in the back to throw anything you want. For now, we'll just put Willie Scott back there. I really don't have much to say about this vehicle. It looks good and it rolls. There's really nothing else to say. Next we have Indiana's and Shorty's car. I think the tan adds a nice color to the vehicle. You can make Short Round drive and put Indiana Jones sitting in the passenger seat. You'll immediately notice the tarp piece on top. This is where the set really starts to fall flat for me. Listen, I don't mind tarp pieces at all. However, I think most sets are better without them. They're really easy to mess up and typically really don't function all too well. This is a perfect example of that. The point of the tarp is it has this little hatch that Indy and Willie are supposed to fall into like they do in the movie. And you can make Indy shoot out at the top of the tarp. However, because of this, it's very difficult to get the tarp to stay in good condition, and it will quickly wear out. Also, this tarp makes it extremely difficult to get figures inside the car. In the back of the car, you can remove this piece and put whatever you want in the trunk, which is nice. Currently, there's just a suitcase, but you can also put one of the guns. Once again, I don't have too much to say on this set, as it serves its role for what it tries to be, and it rolls around like cars do. I don't know how obvious it is, but I'm actually not a huge fan of this set. The figures are really good besides Short Round, and it's easily some of the best figures we've gotten from this theme. However, as a LEGO set, it just doesn't do it for me. It's just 2 cars, and while the gangster's vehicle is pretty good, Indiana's is just alright. This set could have heavily used a side build of Club Obi-Wan to really help out the scene and playability. Overall, I give this set a 2 out of 5 rating. I think it's a fine set, but the figures almost entirely carry this one for me. I know this is a pretty low rating, but there's just really nothing about this set that wows me. Fight on the Flying Wing, one of the most violent scenes in the franchise, translated into Lego. This is one of my favorite scenes in all of the films. It's really crazy that Lego actually made the plane where there are both giant swastikas and an extremely bloody fight. We get Marion and Indiana Jones both in their classic attires. We get this Nazi pilot again who looks really good. And we get the exclusive Nazi mechanic. This dude is awesome looking. Lego did a great job on this figure. A really nice addition to the set is the fuel truck. This truck is scraped by the plane in the movie, which leads to gasoline leaking all over the place, causing a fire that ends up blowing up the plane. The truck looks really good, and it can hold 2 figures in the front, like most Indiana Jones vehicles. On the side, you'll see this nice hose piece that would have been used to actually fuel the trucks, tanks, and planes. The side of the fuel container has a nice sticker design on it, and overall, the truck is just a wonderful addition that really helps make this scene feel more complete. The Flying Wing. For starters, this thing is huge, using a giant airplane piece to create the wing. I think this works well enough, and you can sit a pilot in the main cockpit. In the back, you can put Marion in the machine gunner position. And in the middle, you can actually remove this little section to reveal a storage for all sorts of fun. On the side of the plane has these massive guns, and in the back you have the all-important giant propellers. These are vital for the fight scene. Easily the most fun part of this set is that it actually spins in a circle just like in the film. This seriously is such a great play feature and yet so simple. It spins so perfectly. The only negative I really have for this set is that it just really doesn't look like the plane could actually fly. I've heard this complaint from multiple people. It's just really flat, unlike the film where it's much more angled. I definitely believe if Lego were to make this modern day, they definitely would make it brick built, which probably would have been better. Still though, this set easily comes in with a 3 out of 5 rating. It's got a lot to do, and the figures plus the tanker truck just make it a great set to own. After that, no Indiana Jones sets released till June of 2009. But in between then, there's still lots of Indiana Jones Lego stuff that did release. One of the major things I've yet to talk about is the Lego Indiana Jones video game. Listen, I'm not a video game channel, but to say that Lego Indiana Jones The Original Adventures is a cult classic is an understatement. And in part, the video game is why many of you even like Lego Indiana Jones. I firmly believe the video game also helped heavily boost the sales for the Lego theme. Also, some other stuff that released were these magnet sets. Here's just one of the 2 that they released, featuring Indiana Jones, Marion, and Henry Jones Sr., oddly with a tan cap instead of his traditional dark gray. There's also another magnet set that has the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull characters. Lego Indiana Jones also had keychains. Keychains are always a cool way so kids can have their favorite characters attached to their backpacks or keys or something like that. So with that being said, I just gotta ask, why did Lego make a Nazi pilot as a keychain? I mean seriously, what kid is going to the Lego store and going, dang, yeah, my favorite character, Nazi pilot? It just doesn't, what? I also definitely need to mention the polybag that released for the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. There's lots of these small side items with this theme, and I might cover more of them in the next episode, but till then I just wanted to address their existence, and let's dwell back into the June wave of Indiana Jones. Ambush in Cairo, the smallest set from 2009. This set depicts the iconic scene where Indy shoots the swordsman. Coming in with 4 minifigures, we will once again see the incredible improvement from the minifigures. Here we get another brand new variant on Indy. He doesn't have his jacket and his button up is partially open. Looks great, no complaints here. Here we have another variant of Marion Ravenwood. The original version seen in the Flying Wing in the Lost Tomb is one of my least favorite figures in the line. However, this one, wow. The face still looks kind of whatever, however the torso looks fantastic. She also comes with this pan that she knocks out a guy with in the film. Really funny inclusion. Next up is the Cairo Thug. These are the first guys in the whole scene that Marion and Indy scuffle with. He looks pretty solid, and he comes with this stick thing that he tries to slam Indy with. Lastly is the Cairo Swordsman. This guy has a great looking face and a hilariously oversized sword. It's so goofy and he looks fantastic. These figures rule. This set is a mashup of basically the entire sequence of the chase and the fight in Cairo. We have the barrel that Marion hides in, the hay bale that is used multiple times in the sequence, and the little fruit shack that they fight around in the beginning. Also included is this machine gun, and to be honest, I don't fully understand why, but why not, I guess. It's a nice inclusion, why not? There's not too much to comment on about this set. What you see is what you get, and what you get is a great small version of the Cairo sequence. The only complaint I can really say is I really wish they would have included the little Nazi monkey. I mean, come on, the monkey piece was even in production during this time, with the Pirates theme. Other than that though, they used their small set size very wisely, and gave you some of the most iconic parts of the scene. Easily a very solid 4 out of 5. It is a perfect small set in my opinion. The Chichilla Cemetery Battle, the last Kingdom of the Crystal Skull set we'll likely ever get. This set depicts the tomb where they find the Crystal Skull. Included is another brand new variant of Indiana Jones. That's just the 3rd one this year. Incredible. This one comes with a brand new face print of Indy looking pretty confident. I don't love the new head print, but I also don't think it's awful either. And honestly, I just appreciate that we finally have different expressions. Included is the same old Mutt Williams. Lastly here we have these Guardians. These guys look pretty cool and even have a double-sided head to reveal their skeleton masks. One of them comes with a blow dart while the other comes with this saw. Both of these figures really work well and I'm very happy they were included. Here we have Mutt's motorcycle. This looks great. Last video I complained how the Indy motorcycles were really just dirt bikes. Here they actually made them look like proper motorcycles. It even has printed red on it, which is awesome. You know, this set really reminds me of a mini temple set, which I think is great for kids as they don't have to pay tons of money to get a fun temple you can go in and explore. In the front, you'll notice these grates, and you can hide your Guardians under here so they can ambush any intruders. This also represents the tunnels that the Guardians kept popping out of in the movie. Going forward, you'll see a Scorpion, which is the one that stings Mutt in the film, and you'll meet this wall. And what you have to do here is put your back against it and flip this lever to launch Indiana Jones in the main room. In the second chamber, you'll see the fire on the walls and the giant treasure chest to the side. I always love these extra treasures you can find in these sets, really adds a lot of play value. Moving our dead Spanish friend though will reveal the Crystal Skull. Again, I covered this last time, but I love the Crystal Skull piece, and it's great you can get it in a cheaper set. Overall, I think this set checks all the boxes. It's a nice small temple set that includes some cool treasure and fun features. It does the job it's set out to do. 3 out of 5 bobs. Not some crazy set or anything, but it's just a fantastic, great cheap way to have a fun temple playset. Venice Canal Chase. This set is perhaps the one that surprised me the most out of any Indiana Jones LEGO set. This is our second Last Crusade set, and boy is it a good one. This set comes with 4 exclusive minifigures. We get yet another variant of Indiana Jones, this time in his Last Crusade suit, and it looks great. And included is his hairpiece. Hooray! Finally, we have Elsa Schneider. She is Indy's love interest in the 3rd film. Kinda?
All I have to do is squeeze. All I have to do is scream.
She looks fantastic, and she really has that late 2000s LEGO look, and I say that in a very positive way. She also has the standard female double-sided head where she is screaming. Here we have Chasm. He is the Grail Guardian Indiana Jones beats up on the boat and then sets free. He looks pretty good, especially his face and suit. However, the fezzes look good, but yeah, he looks bald. And the man was never bald. You see, on the Indiana Jones hat piece, it covers most of where his hair would be, and it looks fine. But I really think with these guys, they could have used a hair hat combo of modern day. Still though, I don't think that makes the figure look bad by any means. Lastly, we just get a generic Rail Guardian figure, which is much of the same, but looks good as well. The set consists of 3 main sections: Indiana's boat, the Grail Guardian's boat, and the Venice walkway. Starting out with the walkway, this is based off where Indy and Elsa first ascend back to the surface. On the right, we have this sewage crate that can be lifted up, representing the scene where Indy and Elsa escape the underground tomb. To the side, we also have a rat, which is a really funny nod as well. The bridge is basic with a nice railing. It looks good and serves its purpose. On the left here, we have the dock, and this can actually blow up. This doesn't happen in the movie, but it's a cool feature. The most fun feature though is just the fact that you can actually drive the boats through the tunnel. Really makes it very interactive. I really enjoy that. I really like this piece of the build. It is very much needed in building the scene, and I think this is the type of thing missing in the Shanghai chase. Next up is the Grail Guardian's boat. So quickly I must point out that the flag on the back of the boat is actually wrong. The Guardian's boat should have the black flag that's on Indiana's boat, and Indiana's boat should have the red flag. Now this is a very easy switch that anyone can do, however I had to point it out. You can fit both figures in the front, although the right side passenger will have to kinda loosely sit in there and not be connected to any studs. The Grail's Guardian boat though is awesome. I think the overall dark tan and brown colors work really well and it just looks fantastic. The main play feature for this boat is to press this button that will shoot off the backside of the boat, representing the giant propeller that starts to shred the boat up. I love this feature so much. I mean, it's so much fun. I would have loved though if they included part of the giant propeller that actually cuts up the boat. However, it's not really a big deal that they didn't, I understand. Indiana Jones and Elsa's boat is pretty similar to the other. Again, the flag is the wrong color, but that can be switched really easily. This one goes for a lighter tan instead of dark tan, which I think makes it have a really nice variation. Once again, there's a panel in the front with a steering wheel, and both figures can still sit inside. The main feature of this one is to press the button in the back, which will explode the engine of the boat just like in the film. Once again, this is an incredible play feature that is so much fun to mess around with. I think the engine build inside also just looks great. So let's just take a bigger look at the entire set. 4 extremely good looking minifigures, with my only complaint being no hair hat combo, which in 2009 was unheard of anyways. We get a great base build with the Venice dock and bridge. We get 2 great vehicles that are easily a contender for my favorite vehicle builds of the entire theme. And just to top it all off, we get these 2 extra buoys just as a nice side build to play with. Yeah, this set easily gets a 5 out of 5 rating. This set is one that I always thought was whatever, and I borderline never even wanted. Then I just happened to get it and build it, and I realized that this is easily one of the best sets of the entire theme. I think this is a perfect set, much in the same as the Jungle Cutter from the last episode. You get so much to make your scene in this one set, and I love that, and I love this set. The Fighter Plane Attack. This is also based off The Last Crusade, which is nice because we don't have too many sets based off that film. It comes with 3 minifigures, all returning, as we get a normal Indiana Jones, a normal Henry Jones Sr., and another Nazi pilot. All good figures, but nothing too crazy. This set consists of 2 builds, being the German fighter plane and the biplane. Starting out with the biplane, which is a very solid build. It has the propeller at the front, which looks great, and on the side has the freaking Iron Cross, which is pretty crazy that LEGO included that. You can open these little flaps on the side and have some very nice storage to fit all the accessories. The side has more sticker detail, which looks good, and inside you can fit both Indiana Jones and Henry Jones Sr. The machine gun in the back doubles as a play feature with flick-fire missiles on the back. At the end of the plane, we have the fin, which has these awesome bullet hole stickers on it. This can also come off easily, so you can play out Henry Jones shooting their own tail fin off. I think the biplane looks really good and has a really nice size to it. I enjoy it a lot. Moving on to the Nazi fighter plane. I have some mixed feelings about this one. It is mostly gray, which is fine, and I think the actual body of the plane has a really sleek look. The nose of the plane looks very militarized and intimidating. However, the cockpit is less than great. It doesn't have a fully enclosed canopy, which makes it look really unfinished. Still though, you can fit your pilot inside. You'll notice another nice detail is more bullet holes in the back of the cockpit. Looking over to the wings, and the less than favorable looks continue, as these wings look really ugly. The wings on the plane are supposed to be sharp and slim, where the LEGO ones look very fat and thick. However, I don't think this makes the model bad, I just think it makes it not a great display plane. You have the guns on the bottom of the wings, which are really cool, along with more flick-fire missiles. I know I've criticized the fighter plane a good bit, but I must show you my favorite part, and the feature that makes me forgive almost all of the other criticisms I had. Pushing down on the backside of the cockpit, it'll shoot out the wings, mimicking the scene where the plane flies into the tunnel. This feature is awesome. It is so much fun to do over and over and over again. It is also relatively similar to the 2 features on the boats from the Venice chase. I think this is a set you just gotta have in hand to make the play feature work for yourself, to really experience how much joy it'll bring you. Overall, the fighter plane looks kinda meh, but as a toy for flying around and playing with, it's incredible. I think I can safely give this set a 4 out of 5 rating. I acknowledge looks-wise it's only okay, but man, as a fun set, it knocks it out of the park. I've had so much fun playing around with the set, even as an adult. The main flagship set of the year. This is a set riddled in rarity and controversy. You see, Temple of Doom has always been a controversial movie for its intense violence, child slavery, and even racism. Personally, I don't really care about all the controversy. I love Temple of Doom, just the same way as I love the other 4 Indiana Jones films, and I'm really happy that this set exists. Although I agree it is a little shocking, especially that in 2009, they would have made something this violent. Coming in with a total of 6 minifigures, 5 of which are completely exclusive. Starting out with our hero of Fortune and Glory, Indiana Jones. This time he has my favorite look that the character ever went through, with the jacket completely removed and one of the sleeves completely torn off. He's also sporting the newer expression that came out this year. He comes with a sword and pistol, which is just cool. Great to get an exclusive Indiana Jones. Next we get a brand new Willie Scott, and man, just like the last version of Willie, this is another one of the best minifigures they've ever made for this line. She is sporting her Pancot Palace getup, which looks great, and she even is sporting some fantastic back printing. Here we get another short round, which is the same as last time. Like I said, I don't think he's a horrible figure, I just think he's okay. Definitely some improvements could have been made. Finally, we get the man that Lucasfilm trembles before, Mola Ram. This dude is crazy. He has this awesome exclusive helmet mold which can be removed, and removing it will reveal some great head printing for the paint on his forehead. He also has a sick torso design. Here's our first thuggy temple guard. He looks nice and includes this rifle. There's not too much to say, but he looks great. And here's the second temple guard. This is actually representing the giant big man that Indiana Jones gets in that awesome fight with, who meets a really violent end. I think the minifigure selection for this set is great, and I think I can say with confidence that this has the best minifigures of any Indiana Jones set ever. Looking onto the set, and this thing is massive. This thing has a giant footprint. I mean, there's just no possible way to display this thing in full with all this track. I'm going to break this down into 3 main sections: the main temple, the railway, and the stone tower. The main temple is a very tall structure which sits over the minecarts, which is actually pretty cool. Inside of the infrastructure of this thing are some cool hidden elements. There's this booby trap of a sword that will sling out, and on the other side you have this box of gems and mining equipment. I like that this sort of represents the mines that were underneath the main temple area in the film. One really cool feature is that this upper temple section can be removed completely from these 2 lower mountainy parts. This is cool as for people who want to just display the main Temple of Doom section. On the main floor is the iconic sacrificing Kali temple area. You have a rugged built version of the Kali statue, which is okay. It even includes these 2 glow-in-the-dark horns, which I can't show perfectly, but just trust me, they glow in the dark. In the center you have the skull, and located is the 3 Sakkara stones. These are represented by just 3 translucent elements. The stones can actually be pushed forward and made easier to access, which is a really good feature to have. There's a decent amount of room up here to post figures here, which is important considering that this area is where a lot of the main action happens. You'll notice LEGO chose not to include any of the cages they used to sacrifice people with. This is very much intentional, as that would have been probably crossing the line of violence that even LEGO wasn't willing to do. The main feature up here though is still that the trapdoor opens, which in the film leads to a portal to hell, but in the LEGO set, it just leads to the minecarts. I think that the main section works, and I still think it looks good. However, I just can't help but wish they would have sacrificed some of the height of the temple and made it a larger platform. It's not the end of the world considering I still really like it, but you know, you can't help but wonder. Next up is the track. Once Indiana Jones and friends have freed the child slaves, they need to make a quick escape, which they do with the minecarts. These track pieces you see here were created entirely for this set, which is awesome. In fact, these rail pieces were barely ever used in any other set after this. You get these 2 minecarts, which if you squeeze, you can get your full cast of characters into. You can push them along the track very smoothly until we meet our first obstacle. Hitting this switch will cause these wooden boards to pop up, which can block the thuggies from catching up with Indiana. Further down, you will hit this drop. This will launch you underneath the rock tower. The tower looks really good and has this old wooden feel and look to it. It even has a snake and a spider hidden within it, which is really wonderful extra detail. Something really quickly I have to note is the instructions though get the placement of this tower completely wrong. They tell you to set the rock tower here, which doesn't make any sense as this completely blocks the carts from getting under it. So you must modify it and put it back by 1 over here. It's not a big deal considering it's just a simple movement, but I need to mention that LEGO completely got it wrong. When your carts pass underneath here though, they must be careful as there's a trap door full of rocks that can fall and take down one of your minecarts. You can activate this through this simple pin and it works really well and is always really fun to try and time it right with the carts underneath it. At the end of the track you will hit this barricade which will topple over and typically send your riders over with it. I mean, what's there to say about this entire feature? It's so much fun. I mean, having this big of a track has lots of time and room to ride along and play with it. I mean, it's much like the plane and the boats. It's just a feature you can do over and over and over again. Some complaints though are that the minecarts swivel to the side, which can get very annoying because your figures will fall out. Another simple complaint about the entire set is that I think as a representation of the Temple of Doom setting, I don't think it quite delivers as much as it should have. However, as a toy, it's a ton of fun. I feel very conflicted rating this set. It has so much going for it. The figures, the play features, the size and look, but it also does have some downsides. It's honestly too big. Usually people like to say bigger is better, but there becomes a point where the set is just too much. This set is one of those. I wish the track would have been more closely connected around the main build. Also, there's just some key parts of the set piece missing. Mainly the main platform just being a little too bare bones for what the film shows. I had a lot of trouble rating this, but I landed on a 4 out of 5 for this set. It was close to getting a 5 out of 5, but it's just not a perfect set. Still though, it's great and is a ton of fun. And that's it. Most of the sets from this year retired in July of 2010, with only the Temple of Doom lasting till December of the same year. Then the license ended, marking the end of the franchise. Really nothing of Indiana Jones came out from the years 2009 all the way to 2023. But looking back to 2009, I want to take a look at all the ratings the sets got. Only coming in with one 5 out of 5 rating with the Venice Canal Chase. This set rules. Coming in with a 4 out of 4 rating is the Ambush in Cairo, the Fighter Plane Attack, and the Temple of Doom. For our 3 out of 5 ratings, we have Fight on the Flying Wing, and the Chula Cemetery Battle. And our only 2 out of 5 rating, the Shanghai Chase. So I assume the question will come up, is this year better than 2008? And I would say no, but it's not behind by much. But for what it's worth, the 2008 Indiana Jones sets are like some of the best LEGO sets ever. So the competition was extremely high, and for what it's worth, the 2009 sets still blow out most other LEGO themes. But that's it for the 2009 LEGO Indiana Jones theme. I hope you all join me in the finale of the retrospective where we'll look into the 2023 Indiana Jones sets and the really controversial decision they made, as well as what the Dial of Destiny was and were we ever going to get sets from it. I promise you the next episode will be really interesting, and there'll be a few surprises as well. But till then, I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.